Ayom 4 yamim la'Omer Netzah sh'bChesed. 4 days to the Omer, victory or tenacity within Chesed. 3 contemplations between man and God. Itbonen ha'adam bedato. Contemplate in your consciousness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Hashem chai v'kayam lenetzach, is living and existing for eternity. K'mo shedarshu Chazal, like the rabbi said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu meveleh et ma'asav ve'en ma'asav mevelim oto. The rabbi saying in Masechet Brachot on the 10th page that HaKadosh Baruch Hu outlives or lasts longer, or so to say, exists after his actions, and not that his actions live longer than him, like human beings. מצד זה גם שפעו וחסדיו הטובים הנמשכים מאיתו לקיום העולם בכלל ועם כל אדם בפרט. With that too, his shefa that he brings down, and all the loving kindness and all the good that is brought down from Hashem in order for the existence of the world as a whole, and with you specifically, they are constant and existing for eternity. From this come to love Hashem, which is rooted in Chesed. You see how much Chesed is coming down, and that it's constant, and it's eternal, and it's everlasting. From seeing that everlasting Chesed that's coming down, you will be reaching Midat Chesed by way of the Midah of Netzach, which is consistency and permanence. Second contemplation, ייתן ליבו כי לצורך היותו משיג את אהבת הבורא יתברך וקרבתו. Bring to your heart that for the need for you to receive and to comprehend more love of the Creator, blessed be He, and closeness to Hashem, יש לו להשתדל להתנצח עמו יתברך. You should try to, it's a hard word to translate, but litnatzach is similar to like arguing, but in a positive way, or like you have to, in modern Hebrew they use it for sparring, right? But Hashem wants us, His will is that we will come and talk to Him and pray to Him and try to so to say, overcome Him in arguments in order to bring down Yeshuot, salvations. Like we saw with Avraham Avinu when he fought for Sdom and he asked for 50, 45, 40, went all the way down to 10, right? To try to find some mercy. And Moshe Rabbeinu who went back and forth with Hashem trying to get forgiveness for the Jewish people. When they saw anger in the world or a lot of deen in the world, so to say, they stood and they started to go back and forth in argument and debate with Hashem. In the end, we see that they acquired and they achieved to reach the love of Hashem. But we see with Noach, who didn't apply his heart to argue with Hashem and to fight for the people on his generation, he was called a foolish leader, a foolish shepherd. So with this, understand and try to come up with these different arguments towards Hashem in order to bring good for the klal, for the whole entire world, and for you specifically. And in the end, Bezat Hashem, you will receive the love of Hashem Yitbarach by way of this back and forth with Hashem and fighting for it. You will be receiving Hashem's love, which is rooted in Chesed, by way of nitzchono, by way of your perseverance and your tenacity to bring down a new will of Hashem of good and love. Third contemplation between you and Hashem. In order for you to receive the love of Hashem and the closeness to Hashem, you have to fight your Yetzer Hara and to bend it over and to subdue it, to force it in the way of good. Like the rabbi said in Kiddushim, in Parashat Kedoshim, in the Midrash, a person shouldn't say, I don't want to eat milk and meat. He shouldn't say, I don't want to wear shatnez. Rather, he should say, Efshi, I do want to. What am I meant to do that my Father in heaven made a decree upon me? I would like to go against the Torah. I would like to go chill at the beach and do whatever I want. But Hashem told me, He made a gzera on me, and that's my Father in heaven. Right? What you're doing here is you're awaking a little bit of the Yetzer Hara. Yeah, I would like to eat a cheeseburger, right? You're telling yourself as if you would want to do it, and then you overcome that Yetzer Hara because of the love of your Father in heaven, right? So you will be receiving the love of Hashem, which is Chesed, by way of arousing the Yetzer Hara and then overcoming it. Just a small footnote that you have to know that this is completely forbidden when it comes to saying something on Shabbat that is a chilul Shabbat, on the day of Shabbat, right? And it's also asur to say on Pesach that you would desire what is completely forbidden on Pesach, like chametz and things like that. So during Pesach and during Shabbat, it's better that you do this less. On Pesach, meaning specifically with the idea of chametz. 3 contemplations between man and his friend. Any good act that you do with the people around you, try to come and return to do it again at a different time, in a way that it will be continuous for a long time, for eternity. So too, when you start to do this for your friend and you do a chesed for him, and then you come back next week and you do the same chesed, and next week you do the same chesed, so too contemplate that this is what Hashem does with us all the time. You will be receiving the light of Chesed by way of your consistency. Right. Second contemplation: add and try to do a Chesed that has a permanence to it. Like there's people that give their friends money to help them out, right? And you have the ability to give them a loan. But you could also make a company or a business for your friend, a stream of income. By way of that stream of income, he could get a lot more money and he could, live more comfortably. He won't need a loan at all. In this kind of way, right? By way of your chesed that you're giving to your friend, you are preparing for him netzach, which is permanence, and kiyum, existence. The chesed that you're doing, you will be bringing down by way of an action, a midah of permanence and persistence. Third contemplation: try very much to do chesed with your friend, by giving him a good piece of advice. Advice is rooted in netzach, specifically when your friend needs an eitzah that is for his existence, for his ability to even be in this world, or to overcome his yetzer hara. You will be reaching the midah of chesed by way of the midah of netzach, which is the ideas of permanence and advice, and all of these are rooted in netzach. The body part, ishtamesh b'yad yamin, use your right hand, and all of the nitzchonotav, all of the things that you're of overcoming, of dominance, of perseverance, of tenacity, try to use your right arm. Whether it's overcoming something or being dominant, or whether you're doing an act of permanence, an act of consistency, try to use your right arm, which is rooted in chesed, in order to do that act of netzach. In time, try to get over your yetzer hara, to overcome your yetzer hara, and to do actions that have permanence in existence for a while, specifically when it comes to the chesed that you're trying to do in the daytime, and more specifically in the morning, which are both rooted in chesed. Second one, in the blessing of the years, of the blessing of the year, which is rooted in netzach. Try to have extra kavanah in shacharit, which is rectified by Avraham Avinu. Third thing, when you mention the name Hashem Tzvakot, right, Yud Kei Vav Kei Tzvakot, have extra intention. Specifically when you're reading a pasuk in the Nevi'im, that the Nevi'im are rooted in Netzach, right? Or a pasuk shenizkar bo gadol hanevi'im Moshe, or in any pasuk that is mentioned the greatest of prophets, which is Moshe Rabbeinu, which Moshe Rabbeinu was a merkava, was a chariot, a vehicle for the midah of Netzach, specifically in Tfilat Shachri, try to do this. And the acquisition of the Torah for this day is bevinat alev uvesichlut alev, with the understanding of the heart and with the intellect of the heart.